Greetings, beautiful Cancers. As we get ready to rock and roll into November 2020, things are looking up. We have two major portals coming in this month, one on the 1st, another one on the 11th. So this proves to be a wonderful month for activating, for setting intentions, and for manifesting. So as we get into our 2020 November readings for Cancer, please note that this reading is always going to be timeless. Whenever you find the reading, it is for you. This is to appeal to Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. If for some reason something in this reading does not reach out to you, check your Eastern Ayurvedic zodiac chart, and as well check your other zodiac information to find another reading that will be on the channel that will hopefully resonate with you a little bit more. Hopefully you will see something in this reading that reaches out to you. We're going to start first with the usual major arcana guidance. We're going to be using the affirmations, goddess tarot, oracle. We're also going to be using Oracle 7 energies. We're going to be looking at getting some guidance from our spell casting oracle. As far as the tarot decks that we may use, we're going to be looking at the Divine Diversity tarot deck as well as Crystal Visions, okay? So these will be some of the oracle and tarot decks that we'll be using as I guide you towards what some of the things are that you can look forward to, whether it be career, money, love, family, whatever it is that comes through in the reading today. Please also note that the first part of the reading is the only part of the reading that will be available to our YouTube community. The remaining extended second half of the reading that gets into more of the specific tarot guidance will be available on Patreon to our beautiful butterflies and transformation over there. If you're interested in joining us on Patreon, please feel free to come on over to www.patreon.com/Tanisha Ali. You can find the information in the description. So let's get down and get busy with this reading. Okay, let's see what the guidance is today for our lovely Cancer. I feel butterflies. So glad to have you with us. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or shared something from the channel, feel free to do so. The first deck we're going to pull some oracle guidance from is going to be our oracle energies. So we want to look at one of the major energies that's going to come through for you this month, Cancer. And then we're going to get into a bit of the major arcana, the real spiritual guidance that the divine wants you to be paying attention to this month as you lean into your lessons. I ask that you just be open to receive whatever guidance comes across for you this month. One of the major guiding energies for our beautiful Cancer this month. Oh, we had two to jump out. Oh. All right, let's take them. So we have 16, which is the royal you. All right. And this may be exactly what it says. This has to do with you honoring yourself, you feeling deserving, you really understanding that you are gold. All right. It's opening up to the beauty and the magnificent and the shine. So this is like get your glow on, get your shine on. That's beautiful. We're going to look at the extended message, and then we have the healing the heart. So here, this may be a message. This is 23, which is also 5. Here we have 7 here. This may be a message that's calling you to lean into opening up your heart. Maybe you've had to protect your heart. Maybe some of you are dealing with issues of the heart, whether it be grief, whether it be emotional separation and distance from your loved one, or trying to rebound from something that really kind of tore through your heart energy. This is about healing that by going deep within, by allowing those feelings to come up, by fully experiencing them, and then by gently leaning into the kinds of shared activities and the opening up again with other people that allows you to kind of start to heal. All right, it's about not being afraid. It's about taking that chance and being able to share an emotional closeness and vulnerability with others, and kind of, taking that heart of yours that may be sitting in that cage, taking it out and getting it warm again and opening up to the beauty of what it feels like when you connect with others fearlessly. Now, as we look at the royal you, I want to read a little bit about this message to you. All right. So this is about sovereignty. It's about self-rule. It's about empowerment, self-aware. This is also about knowing who you are. So this is self-worth, self-value. This is not allowing people to cause you to come outside of your alignment because you're concerned with what they're doing or you're trying to please them. So this is really about expressing personal sovereignty over your life and holding on to your inner sense of worth. All right. Understanding that you really have a unique purpose. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, knowing who you are. All right. It's about not allowing other people to challenge your authentic self and not giving up your authentic self, as I mentioned before, to anyone else. So this is about ruling your mind and not letting your mind lead you astray and separate you from who you are, your own internal sense of self-value that should always be grounded from within and not leaning and blowing in with the trees depending upon who's around you and what's going on. So it's also about the intentions that you have for your life. It's about meeting the challenges in your life with a measured response, speaking up, setting your boundaries, and doing it with assertiveness, grace, and surety. So your personal sovereignty is something that you're going to need to be leaning into this month. And it may have to do with a loving relationship. It may have to do with the need for why you may feel that you need to protect something or that you need to guard something. If you're leaning into your personal sovereignty is in conflict with some of you all and is causing some sort of pain with a personal relationship, then naturally that's something that you need to think about. I see this particular card here as the trump card in the energies that have to do with where you are going to be really focusing your attention this month. So it's about self-validating. It's about honoring. It's about putting yourself back in the driver's seat, irregardless of what other people may want or need for you. It's about making sure that anything that you're giving up or any place that you're leaning towards is in line with your freedom to direct and control your life. Underneath this energy, we have let it go. We have other heart energy here. So it's possible that something could be in conflict with where you are headed. It could be from the past, or it could be something that you're moving into that's asking of you to release. Okay, to in order to protect yourself and in order to start a healing process, it's possible that some of you may be needing to lean into an energy of release this month, and that part of your personal sovereignty and your sense of your ability to direct and control your life and go into the direction that you feel you're being called to is really contingent upon your ability to not be a victim of your emotions, but to instead take those actions and to do those things that honor what really is in your heart, even if it means that you have to walk away from something. So that's a very interesting message for some of you. Let us see what the major arcana energies are talking about this month. All right? What is it that Cancer needs to be paying attention to? We have that Justice card that wanted to come out as well. It came out. And we have this card that wanted to also come out for our last reading for Scorpio. So this is got a lot of karmic stuff coming through. Now this High Priestess card over here as well. All right, now this High Priestess card is about transcending time and space and allowing your awareness to enter into the intuitive space, the mystical space. It's about trusting yourself. It's also about things that are not always seen. Sometimes this can have to do with our emotions. Sometimes it requires us to pull back. But usually this card speaks to those things that are hidden, that are a part of the hidden realms. They can speak to our personal sense of feminine energy, essence, and power as well. We have this Justice card over here. So with this Justice card, we know we're talking about karmic balance. We know we're talking about things coming into balance as a result of decisions that we've made or seeds that we've sown. We are now reaping the rewards of what it is that we have put in. And that's the good and the bad. This is also a card that calls us to moral integrity, to make the right choices, to honor not only ourselves but others. If we're needing to move out of the darkness into the light, this card is calling us to be fair and to be on the right side of things, to set right our affairs. Otherwise, they are often set right for us. So this gives us an opportunity to remember that those thoughts that we send out, those actions that we send out will no doubt return to us. This is also about emotional equanimity and bringing in more balance and reflection into the things that we do. It's also about looking at a situation from a point of view of black and white, and knowing what the right path is. So we'll get a little bit more into what that energy means as we go a little bit deeper into some of our oracle guidance. At the bottom of the deck, we have this high priestess card again, or this high priest card in this particular deck. It's really the high priest card. Okay, so this is also a card of spirituality. In this same deck, the high priestess is another woman, but this is, I'm sorry, the high priest card. So we're talking about spirituality. We're talking about things hidden. We could be talking about traditions, institutions, things that make sense on a conventional level as we ponder not only our relationship with spirit and our worldly and community life, whether it be with the church or the rituals and practices that we find ourselves participating in, but also those things that become structures and institutionalized paradigms in our lives, whether they are our religious beliefs, the lenses through which we view society. So this is a very interesting card here, because this is obviously a major underlying energy here. So for some of you, this could have to do with marriage. With that justice card there, that also brings to mind things that have to do with um, justice and legalities and paperwork and contracts, soul contracts, as well as marriage contracts and everything else. And these two cards here that can often represent marriage, when we talk about the high priest or when we talk about the hierophant, we know that something is calling you to step up to the plate and exercise power in your life and dominion and authority. And that's what this guiding energy message is. And we know that this has something to do, perhaps for a lot of you, with a relationship or something involving love and your need to perhaps walk away from something or let something go, which possibly hasn't been easy. But in doing so, with this number 6 here, is likely going to bring more harmony into your life, more ease, and perhaps greater reciprocity as well. I feel like this has to do with actions that you have to take, though. I'm seeing the red and the green. I feel like this has to do with actions that you have to take. And for some of you all, this is happening right on the heels of the holiday season. And I'm feeling and sensing Christmas as well. With that healing the heart card. What other energies are coming into what we need to hear from our Cancerians during this month of November 2020? Keep in mind, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you see it, it is for you. Whenever you see it, it is for you. What's the message for our Cancers? What is the message for our Cancers? We have willpower. See, here we go again with the royal you. It's a card of willpower and using your willpower to direct, but also we have the well-being card. So with this willpower card, it is like you're moving into a different space where you're having to take more responsibility, or you're having to take on more ownership for your life in terms of your growth and the direction that you're headed in. And willpower is coming into play to remind you of the need to use your willpower and be grounded in your willpower and what is for your best interest. Sometimes that can be difficult, and we have to move with the energy of spirit, and we have to move with our life force, which then allows us to harness our willpower and get there a bit easier, to make those kinds of decisions that are about our well-being. So this card has to do with well-being, and I'm feeling protection is perhaps something that is happening in this situation that may have been hurtful or harmful. And in order for you to safeguard your emotional, mental, and perhaps for some physical well being, you're going to have to persevere and push through this situation, even when you may feel like letting go of the reins and just releasing the whole thing. You're being called to remember that it is about what is best for you, and the decision that you're making has to do with your well being. At the same time, you're being asked to keep an eye on your well-being. And what does that mean? It means fortifying yourself. It means taking the time to do those things that are healthy for you, taking care of your body, whether it be what you eat, whether it be the exercise that you do daily, the thoughts that you are thinking, and anything else that is building on your psychological, emotional, financial, spiritual, and physical well-being. I want to look and see if there are any additional messages that we want to be paying attention to. I feel that whatever the decision is that you're being guided to make, or wherever the energy is for you this month, during the month of November, Cancer, it has to do with you taking charge, and it has to do with you making solar plexus kind of decisions. This is breakthrough, transformation, fire energy. These are the kinds of decisions that we make when we have to look out for our interests, and when we have to protect and guard what is important to us, and when we need to get in alignment with the things in our life that are calling us to a better quality of existence. And oftentimes that means the breaking of contracts, that means the severing of relationships that we have with people. And in reality, these difficulties are actually what usher in balance and justice in our lives. So let's look at the willpower card, and let's see if there's anything that we want to say here. We talk about willpower as well as pushing away those things that serve as temptations that can actually drag us back. And this card is calling attention to the motto, life is too short. Okay, and the fact that it attracts naughty behavior. And sometimes you may find that trouble has sort of followed you due to impulsive behavior. So it's time for you now to take more responsibility for yourself and what you want to, create in your life, and to release the need to, or to release the temptation to give in to temptation. All right. And to look at the direction that you happen to be going in and ask yourself, what is this about? Okay, I need to focus. I need to have willpower so that I can protect myself from destruction. Okay, so this is about strengthening your resolve and your purpose, as well as digging in deep and connecting to your why. Why am I doing this? What is it that how is it that my strength and my lack of impulsivity and giving into temptation is a part of my well-being and my wellness plan? And what is it that I need to be doing in order to stay into alignment? And how's my willpower going to aid me in terms of putting myself first and exercising personal sovereignty in my life, where I need to be assertive and put my foot down? And how does this usher in more balance into my life? So this could be you dealing with any number of issues that may be calling you back. A lot of times when we're leaving things behind, when we're breaking up, we find we have one foot on this side, one foot on the other side. Temptation can be difficult to sometimes assuage, and oftentimes you can find yourself in a place of going back into something that in fact you need to totally walk away from and wash your hands of. When the heart is involved, there's not anything that is off the table. We're going to pull an oracle card from my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece. You can find this on Amazon. It's a book of daily reflections and self-coaching in order to help you manifest and live your best life. So let's look at what might be a great message that needs to play out this month for Cancer. We have, don't feel obligated to follow others. Strike out on your own path. Although striking out on your own path is a natural impulse, it doesn't come naturally for most people. We've all been conditioned to fit in and feel abnormal when we do not. We also risk being ostracized when we begin to define for ourselves what purposeful living means to us. For this reason, we must often acknowledge that we need to give ourselves license or permission to do this. That's that personal sovereignty, okay? Free yourself. to be you by honoring what your heart is ready to explore. Your heart is saying, this is a self-destructive situation for me and I need to let go and it's time for me to break these contracts and move forward. And I need to harness my personal energy, my personal executive authority, and my personal sense of self-worth. And that's what you do. Honor what your heart is ready to explore. After all, by the time you feel the need to strike out on your own, whether or not you resist this pull, you have already ceased to resonate with your current situation. So this is about freeing yourself from your current situation. So this is a recurring theme here. This is freeing yourself as well from your current situation. Something that has to likely do with relationship or family dynamic of sorts. This is saying that by the time you start feeling like it's time for you to make tracks or it's time for you to leave something, you've already ceased to resonate with it. It's like saying by the time you get thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Like you've been in a space of not getting enough liquid for quite some time before your body starts to show you. So by the time you get the feeling and the intuitive hits that it's time for you to leave a situation or to let something go or to sever a contract, you've already ceased to resonate with it. So that's also saying that you have to trust the magic of life. And you do have to give yourself license and permission to do this. So the question is, where in your life do you need to free yourself? Where in your life do you need to free yourself? We're already at 21 minutes, so we're getting ready to have to cut this short and head over to Patreon. You can join us there by linking to the information in the description. It's patreon.com/Tanisha Ali. And we're going to see what other message we have in here for our beloved. This is my dog who you're going to have to see me ask her to leave. So we have two cards that bounce out for us, okay? So we're the Lady of the Lake. All right. This is about absolute truth, courage, self-respect, and responsibility. This is about your personal strength. This is about looking at a situation, seeing it for what it is, and severing ties with things that no longer serve your highest interest. This is about personal executive authority. It is about personal sovereignty. It is about the freedom of release. This is about you and your identity. Okay? So this is pretty powerful energy here. This is you at the height of taking responsibility for whatever it is you seek to change in your life, and you being the one to exercise your free will in the way that you need to in order to gain the freedom to direct and control your situation. We're going to look at the wind fairy. Albie, let's go. We're talking about air energy here. More air energy. This is another card here. This has to do with your thoughts, your words, your intellectual analysis. This is 29. This is card 11. This is card 8. Shout out to Life Paths 8. So with this wind fairy card, we're also talking about the way you think, the ideas, the thoughts, the beliefs that you have, the way you analyze a situation, the relative health or the lack of your mental fortitude, your stamina, the lens through which you see life. I do want to read this to you because this has to do with your thinking. How are you thinking? What's on autopilot in your mind? Are your thoughts supporting the reality that you're trying to create? All right. The wind fairy whispers that the power of thoughts manifests the unseen into the physical. So we know that if we want to change what we see, then we have to change what we think, right? Take time to observe your predominant thoughts. That's what I was saying. Are they positive? Do they support your well-being? Or are they negative and disempowering? Remember, we're talking about the royal you. When you tune in to how your mind is focused, you will surely see the relationships between your environment and the thoughts you're thinking. To change the world of outer conditions, you must first change the way you think. This card also reminds you of the power of intellect. All right, it's a good time to use the power of your mind. So on all of these cards here, what I'm seeing in addition to your thought energy being very balanced and strong, I'm seeing it's time to exercise mind and logic over heart and emotion. I don't want to say heart, over emotion. This is a time to be very clear and to see things for what they are and not allow your emotional vulnerability and your feelings to cloud the decisions that you need to make about something that is very serious in your life and that's going to allow you to chart your course for the rest of this decade. So this is very beautiful energy here because it's an energy of empowerment that we're seeing here. It's an energy that says, let's take our autonomy back. Let's exercise the right to direct and control our life. We have dominion, and it's time to let go of those things that stand in the way. At the bottom of this, what do we have? We have the butterfly. Imagine that. Okay? So we're getting you out of your cocoon or out of your chrysalis into your wings. This is about transformation. So this is some serious moves that you're making or you're being called to make to create new boundaries in your life and to let go of some things that apparently I feel have been self-destructive or may have caused you to shrink away from your true power. So you're now coming back full force and you're taking control over and you're thinking in new ways and you're behaving in ways that are allowing you to cut and sever relationships and annihilate things in your life that have no business being there and simply don't fit into your future anymore. So join me on patreon.com/Tanisha Ali as we go into the second part of this reading.